अब इसको खुला ही रख दीजिए, कोई ज्वाइन कर रहे तो आप
अच्छा।
भी कर सकते हैं।
ठीक है, ठीक है।
तो भी कर सकते हैं।
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر صدق الله مولانا العظيم. All praise belongs to Allah, and peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We started a little late today. We're setting up the tables and had some traffic in the road. So inshallah, we're gonna try to cover as much as we can. What time is Asr today? 6:30. Okay, inshallah. So inshallah, this is our second day of the Quranic Arabic class, Intro to Understanding the Quran. So inshallah, we did the last class and we covered Surah Al-Fatiha. So we will do a quick recap from the last class, inshallah. So we read Surah Al-Fatiha word by word translation from the beginning to the end with Ta'awudh and Basmala, which means including A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim and Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So, and we mentioned that the number of the words in the Quran in total is 77,439. That's the total number of the words in the Quran, including the ones that is unique and including the ones that's repetitive. And the number of the unique words is about 18,000. So these 18,000 words are repetitive inside the Quran. And ends up 77,439. So number of the repetitive words, about 60,000 approximately. And there are 60 words in the Quran that are half of the Quran. If you memorize those 60 words, only 60 words, then you memorize the meaning of the half of the Quran. And then if you go on the second step and you memorize 250 words, then you will know the meaning of the Quran by 70%. And there, the rest of the 30% are the unique words, about 18,000 that you can learn one word a day and continue to move on. And alhamdulillah, you already know 70% of the Quran. So you can definitely relate what is being recited in the Quran. So next, inshallah, we're gonna do the first word of Surah Al-Fatiha. We read the entire Surah Al-Fatiha, but I would like to share with you the impact that we learned from last class, that how much we learned from the Quran. So for example, the very first word of Surah Al-Fatiha, which is Alhamdu, right? All praises and thanks. The meaning of Alhamdu is all praises and thanks. And what we learned by learning only this word from the Quran. So Alhamdu means all praises and thanks. And the reason we are saying all praises and thanks because Alhamdu is including Al-Thana'u wa Shukru, all the thanks and all the praises. Usually a Shukru or the thanks, as we say Shukran, which means thank to you. We say it, you know, in return of some benefits. If someone does some favor to you, we say Shukran, or we say thank, right? And Alhamdu means the ones that is like, you know, on return, and the ones that is like without any favors. And that ones that's just only specifies to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because He is the creator, He is the provider. and he created us from nothing and provided us everything. So he is the most praised, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he is the most worthy of praise. So this word alhamdu does not have one singular meaning in the English language in one word, but we have to go and say all praises and thanks belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillahi. Alhamdulillahi. All praises and thanks belongs to Allah. Li means for. Allah, the name of Allah. Lillah, for Allah. All praises and thanks for Allah, or all praises or thanks belongs to Allah. This exact word, alhamdulillah, appeared in the Quran 47 times. So if you learn this word, alhamdulillah, these two words, alhamdulillah, as if you're learning almost 100 words from the Quran, right? So alhamdulillah, all praise and thanks belongs to Allah, came to the Quran 26 times, and lahul hamdu, or bihamdika, or bihamdi rabbika, the same word in different ways, came to the Quran about 21 times. So as we mentioned in the last class, that alhamdu, the first alif and lam, al is for specification. For example, an apple means tufaha. When I have to make it specify, I go at tufaha. I include alif and lam, the apple. So the difference, an apple and the apple, is hamdu and alhamdu. So the word hamdu, bihamdika, bihamdi rabbika, or lahul hamdu, not alhamdulillah, in a different way. Lahul hamdu means for him all the praises and thanks. This way, this word came 21 times in the Quran. So by learning the first word of the Quran, you already, mashallah, covered more than 100 words in the Quran. So this is the way, as we mentioned already, that by learning only 60 words, you know the meaning of the half of the Quran. So once you know the meaning of the half of the Quran, and you're standing behind the Imam, and Imam is reciting one ayah after another ayah, and you know pretty much half of every ayah, you can relate to it. You can concentrate in your prayer. The most essential component of the prayer is khushu and khudu', which is concentration and humility, humbleness. So you can concentrate and you can keep your mind within the prayer if you know the meaning of the words. Next, we have Surah Al-Kafirun. Inshallah, we will try to cover up Surah Al-Kafirun today, word by word, and we will try to see that how much we are learning from the Quran by learning of this surah word by word. So Surah Al-Kafirun starts with قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. The first ayah. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. Okay, let's see that how many words in this ayah. Can anybody help me and tell me that how many words are in this ayah? قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. I break it down for you. Okay, so how many words are there? Words. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. So there are 3 words. Basically, there are 3 words in the first ayah of Surah Al-Kafirun. Say, O believers. In English, it's more understandable, right? Say, the first word. O, the second word. Disbelievers. Disbelievers, not believers. Disbelievers, right? The third word. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. Say, O the disbelievers. So the first word here is قُل with qaf. قُل means say. This word appeared in the Quran in 618 verses. We have 6,000 verses in total in the Quran, over 6,000, and almost 10% of it has the word قُل, say. Now, can we have some examples that starts with قُل? Any other surah, any other ayah? قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. You see? So there's more than 618 verses that starts with the word قُل, or that has the word قُل in the ayah. And we have to, when we pronounce this word قُل, we have to make sure we pronounce it with qaf. قُل. And the reason we have to do it, because if we say with kaf and say kul, it means eat. So it's a very sensitive word in pronunciation. And Arabic is a very a language of very sensitive language in pronunciation. So we have to go kul with qaf, not kul with kaf. Kul means eat, kul means say. So this is the first word. Let's look into the second word. The second word we have here is ya ayyuha. The entire, this part is the second word. Ya ayyuha. So what is the meaning of ya ayyuha? It is for calling people. Oh. Say, oh, the disbelievers. If you say, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ, oh, the believers. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْمُتَّقُونَ, oh, the ones who has taqwa. قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْمُهْتَدُونَ, oh, are the ones who are guided. So, ya ayyuha means oh. This word appeared exactly in the exact form in 145 verses. So what is the meaning of qul? Qul is say. Ya ayyuha means oh, and it appeared in 145 verses. With a little change, it appeared in 150 verses. So instead of ya ayyuha, it can come as ya ayyatuha, or it can come only ya, without ayyatuha. Only the word ya also means oh. So instead of ya ayyuha, it can come as ya ayyatuha, or only ya. All of them means oh. So ya only, it also means oh, but only appears before words without alif lam. So as we can see, the next word that we have after ya ayyuha, al-kafirun, the disbelievers, the with alif and lam, that's why it's ya ayyuha. So let's get an example, a word that doesn't have alif lam. For example, the word, a name, Khalid. It doesn't have the word alif and lam, Khalid. So when you call Khalid, how do you call? You call ya Khalid. You don't say ya ayyuha Khalid, because Khalid does not have alif and lam. The specification. Why? Because a name itself is specification, right? You don't have to say the Khalid said. You can say Khalid said, right? But if you have to specify a boy, you have to say the boy said, right? So if I want to say a boy, oh boy, then I go ya ayyuhal walad. But if I want to say the name or any word that does not come with alif and lam, we say ya Khalid. So many times Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions ya Musa. He called Musa alayhi salam and he said, oh Musa, ya Musa. Next we have the word al-kafirun. Al-kafirun. It means the disbelievers. Now we have to see that I mentioned that alif lam is for specification. That's why I put a dash right here. That means al is a part of the word, but not the word itself. The word is kafirun. Kafirun means disbelievers. Al means the. That is believers, al-kafirun. The exact word, al-kafirun, that is believers, in its own appearance, it appeared in 20 verses. But this word is plural. Al-kafirun, that is believers, is the plural. The singular is kafir. The singular is kafir. Kafir, kafirun. Kafir, one disbeliever. Kafirun, disbelievers. Mu'min, can you? Mu'minun. Muslim, muslimun, right? Muttaqi, muttaqun, right? So with adding waw and ya, we do the plural. Many words can be plural with adding waw and noon, waw and noon, waw and noon. So the word al-kafirun is plural, and waw and noon is the sign that tells you this is a plural word, right? But there are many words that are not plural, but comes with waw and noon. So it's not absolute. It's not a a law that is absolute, that whenever you see waw and noon, that has to be plural. No, it could be plural, right? So we have the word Qarun and Harun, two famous names who were opposite the Musa alayhi salam, and Harun was the brother of Musa alayhi salam. They're not plural, but they come with waw and noon. And the singular is kafir, and the word kafir in a singular verse, it came into 77 verses. So we get the idea. So we can go through like every ayahs and we can go break it down, but I want to enable you so you can do it yourself. We are doing Surah Al-Kafirun. We read the first ayah, and if you know how to do it, going through word by word, getting out the meaning, try to know that how many times it appears in the Quran, try to break it down, the word, to understand more. So whenever in any different form it came, we can understand and relate. So this is the way you can, try to understand the Quran. Sometimes they say that don't give a person a fish, but teach him how to fish. So if you teach him how to fish, he can go and then collect as many fishes as he needs in his journey. But this is the way I want you to do it, inshallah. So this is the way you have to learn the words. So I'm going to show some of the resources with you, inshallah, so you can understand that how can, inshallah, you can find out different ways. So this is a website. It's called QuranWBW.com. It is a very beautiful website, and it breaks down every single word and show you the meaning. So you can memorize from here. For example, Qul, say, Ya ayyuha, oh, al-kafirun, that is believers, right? And this is a website. It's searchtruth.com. If you go to this website and you search up here the word, it will show you how many verses the same exact word has in the entire Quran. So inshallah, we're going to continue with the next ayahs. The next ayah we have, La a'budu ma ta'budun. La means not or no, right? Not or no. It's a negative word. Basically, it's a word which, the meaning is negative. You're denying something. A'budu, I worship. A'budu, I worship. La a'budu, I do not worship, or not I worship. Ma here means what? Ta'budun, you worship. A'budu, I worship. Ta'budun, you worship.
What is the word for worship?
Worship, al-ibadah. As we say, ibadat karna. Urdu word hai. Ibadat came from Arabic word al-ibadah, which means worship, to worship. The verb is to worship, al-ibadah. From this same root word, we have a'budu, which is the first singular verb. A'budu means I worship, and ta'budun is a plural word for second person. It's the first person, second person. So la means not. A'budu, I worship. Ma, what? Ta'budun, you worship. I do not worship what you worship. Right?
Ma
yes.
For water will be used for water too, right?
Ma'un.
Ma.
Yeah. So if we put a hamza at the end of ma, then that will be water. Ma'un. Okay? But only ma, mim alif is what? So ma also means what in two ways. In English, right here in this sentence, I do not worship what you worship. Here the word what is not for asking, is not for questioning that what you worship, but it is to specify the thing they worship. I do not worship what you worship. So similarly, ma is the same exact word in Arabic. It can come for questions. Ma ta'budu. What do you worship? Without this part of the ayah, if only these two words come, ma ta'budun, it means what do you worship? But when it came in the middle of the sentence, لا أعبد ما تعبدون, I do not worship what you worship. It's not a question anymore. It's to specify the things they worship.
What do we explain for what? Like if we have asked a question, what
Ma.
do we do? What do
Yes, ما تفعل, what you do.
Okay.
ما تفعل, what you doing. ما تأكل, what you eating. Right? Same exact word. In English also, we use the word what you eating. And if I want to use it in the middle of sentence, I eat what you eat, that means we eat the same food. It's not a question anymore. It's specifying the thing that we eat. In Bengali, the language, my native language, we have the same word, ki, right? But it comes like, a longer and shorter. The shorter one is like to specify, and the longer one is for asking.
So ma is not like mother.
No. Yeah. In Arabic, ma is not mother. In Arabic, mother is Yes. You heard the word of Ummul Qura, university in Saudi, in Mecca. Means mother. Qura means villages. Ummul Qura, the mother of all villages, because Mecca was the first place where the house was built. It's called Ummul Qura. Ummul Mu'mineen. Yes. The main thing is to relate. The way you're relating is like, very, very, mashallah, surprising, alhamdulillah, because we already mentioned that 60 words only is the half of the Quran. So if you know how to, connect, the word alhamdu, but if it appears in somewhere else and you cannot connect, then you're losing it. But if you can connect, hey, the Imam Sahib said alhamdulillahi, or he said walahul hamdu, or he said bihamdi rabbika. That means it's about the praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now you're connecting yourself. Then comes wala, and not. Antum, you. Antum, you. Abiduna, abiduna, worshippers, right? So just like the word kafiruna, it's abiduna. So the singular is, can anybody tell me what is the singular of abiduna? Abid, or abidu. Abidu means worshipper. Abiduna, worshippers. Wala antum abiduna, and not you are worshippers, or you are not worshippers of ma a'budu, what I worship. So we get the word a'budu from the last ayah, right? We get the word ma and la from the last ayah too, ma and la. The only word it came is abiduna. And abiduna, we can say that it is, plural because of waw and noon. So wala antum abiduna ma a'bud, and you are not worshippers of what I worship. Wala, and not ana. Ana means I. Abidun. You see, this is the singular. If you put waw and noon, abiduna, that's the plural. So since I is singular, this word should be singular too. Wala ana abidun, and I am not worshipper. Ma abadtum, what you worshipped. Okay, this is a past form. Abadtum. So ta'buduna is a continuous form, what you worship. Abadtum, what you worshipped, in a past form. So sometimes they mention the, it's a very beauty of the Arabic language. They constantly change the, the tense. So make it more, appealing for the listeners. So he could have said, wala a'budu, just like here, a'budu, I do not worship, wala a'budu, I do not worship. But instead it says, wala ana abidun, I'm not a worshipper. Wala antum abiduna ma a'bud. The same ayah repeated again, and you are not worshippers of what I worship. And the very last ayah is lakum dinukum waliyadin. Lakum dinukum waliyadin. Lakum means for you. La means for. Kum means you. Lakum, for you. Dinukum. Deen means the religion, right? Our deen Islam. Wama dinuka, what is your deen? What is your religion? will be asked on our grave. Deen means religion. Kum, the same word. Kum. Kum means your. Lakum, for you. Deenukum, your religion. Waliya, and for me. Li means for. Ya means me. Waliya, and for me. Deeni. Deeni. That means my religion. Waliya deeni, and for me is my religion. So lakum deenukum waliya deeni. For you is your religion, and for me is my religion. So this is Surah Al-Kafirun.
So I have.
Yes, sure.
So we are dividing lakum for you, right? La in different times. But when we use la, we also use for no.
With the alif, right?
Yes.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yes.
La with the alif is no, but
Yes.
la only itself means four.
Yes, yes. Very good, mashallah. Very good question. La with only fatha, without the alif, without stretching. La means four. And the word here, la with alif, with stretching. La, fatha alif, la with stretching is means no. So lakum means for you. But this word can come, the la, it can come as li. With fatha and kasra, the both way it comes.
So the question is when you're listening,
Yes.
you're not reading.
Yeah.
How do you distinguish whether it is no?
It's all practice. And also, it's mandatory. The stretching in Arabic language is mandatory. In English, there's no stretching. There is stretching, and it makes the difference in the meaning, but, it's not like specified, right? I do not have an example right now in my mind, except it is like bad word. Like, still, I will share with you that by stretching, okay, I got it now. So by stretching, it's changed the meaning. Live, leave. L-I-V-E, live. Where do you live? Where do you stay? Where do you accommodate, right? Leave. If you say leave, L-E-A-V, then you go. Where do you leave? No, where do you live, right? So by both by stretching, we're changing the meaning. But English is not a language of stretching. There's no stretching like, you have to stretch or not. But in Arabic, you have to stretch. If you do not stretch, it completely changed the meaning. If someone says, La ilaha illallah, na'udhu billah, that will change the meaning. We have to say, La ilaha illallah. So, as we were mentioning, La can come as li. Both of the same word, and the meaning is for or belong. So, alhamdu, what is the next word? Alhamdu lillahi. That's the same word as this one. Lillahi means for Allah. Lakum, for you. Lillahi, for Allah. All praises and blessings for Allah. So, lakum deenukum waliyadeen. For you is your religion, and for me is my religion.
So is it waliya
Yes.
deen or waliya deeni?
It is waliyadeeni with a ya, But it is the beauty of the Quran, which is called al-balagha. I don't have the exact word in English, that it cuts off the last ya at the end of the sentence. So it ends as deen. But you can only know it if you know the Arabic grammars. And if you can look at the word and see kasra on bottom of it. Zair on bottom of the noon. So then you can say deeni, waliya deeni. Had it been waliya deen with dhamma, you would still read the same way, waliya deen. But if there's a dhamma, waliya deenu, that means and for me, there is a deen. There is a religion. But it is waliya deeni, means for me is my religion. Yeah.
So it is okay to pronounce like deen. I always heard saying deen. No, I never heard.
That is the right way to recite it. That is the way you have to recite it.
Yes.
But when you break down the word, then you have to read deeni. Okay? So in reality, it's deeni, right? For example, Pflugerville, it starts with P. When you have to write with P. But when you pronounce it or say it, it goes Pflugerville, right? Similarly, when you recite it, it's waliyadeen. But if you break it down, or you want to read it with the next ayah, then you have to read waliyadini idha ja. Okay? Yes. So, inshallah, at this point, I think it's adhan
We have still time.
Already?
We'll do
I think-
adhan at 6:30.
later on?
Yeah.
Okay, inshallah. So, is there any questions, any?
So So,
Yes.
see, can we do like in this word, like abid, abidun, so some of the words are like,
Singular and plural.
So can we specify so that for other ayats, we can have the references?
Yes.
Like,
So for example, here we have abidun, which means worshipper. Abiduna, singular. Abiduna is the plural, the worshippers, right? Similarly, as we mentioned, mu'min, mu'minuna, muslim, muslimuna, kafir, kafiruna, fasiq, fasiquna, and different ways. But it is not always. It is just one way to pluralize a word, one way to pluralize it. There's many other way, many other structures. For example, the masjid, the plural of masjid is not masjiduna, it is masajid, masajid. And for madrasa, the plural is not madrasatuna, it's madaris, masajid, madaris. So there are different ways to make a word plural. There are, I think, more than 28 ways to make a word plural. It's not like, ways to do it. I have options to do it, but it's specified. And there's 28 different ways the word becomes plural in Arabic language. Yes. The website is Quran wbw.com.
Word by word.
Word by word. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that. Quran wordbyword.com. You're right. Yes. So Quran wbw.com. Yes, Quran wordbyword.com. It's a very beautiful, but it is there for the longest time. Like it's been there for a while now, right? But our job is to increase and improve ourselves. Every time we finish one class, we have to make sure that we know each and every single word of that surah. And we should not, leave any word behind. So when we do that, we are increasing the vocabulary. We're increasing the connection. And when you look at a word and you memorize it and memorize the meaning, you know the structure, know how to pronounce it, and you listen to some of the qaris, you know how they are pronouncing it. So whenever you listen the recitation of the imam, that time you can connect with it, inshallah. Yes. So the summary of the whole surah is, it's about it is a surah. We can tell by the meaning that we just learned, it was revealed in Mecca. In Mecca, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the companions were not, were in a defensive mode, right? So whenever someone used to approach them, they used to say that la a'budu ma ta'budun, lakum dinukum waliyadin. You have your religion, I have my religion. So this surah is revealed in Mecca, which is Surah Makkiyah. And when he moved to Medina, that times they are not in defensive mode. They reach out to people. They wrote letters to different kings to invite them towards the Islam. So at that time, they did not say lakum dinukum waliyadin, but they asked them that accept our religion, because only Islam can promise and guarantee peace and justice everywhere. Wherever there is no Islam, there must be some, disturbance. There must be something that is unfair or unjust. So in the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creation of Allah in the world, we have to make sure the justice is everywhere. It's not only us, everybody does the same thing, right? Everybody wants to go out the world and then make sure that they have the control. But without the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we cannot promise and we cannot guarantee the just and the right ruling. So when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam moved to Medina, he started asking the other kings and our other tribe leaders to accept Islam and bring justice and break the people from the injustice of worshiping idols and reconnect the worshippers, the creation with the creator. Yes.
While we are performing Umrah, right? So when we offer Durat Nafil, so this is what the surah they recommend to recite in the first rakah. That's the reason.
I actually don't know about that. Like, what is the reason behind it? But yeah, the Rasul used to, recite Surah Al-Kafirun in it. There might be, one of the hikmah or one of the wisdom behind it. But I heard from the another wisdom, another hikmah behind it, is after the tawaf, you are usually a little tired. So to shorten your prayer, The Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to do the same, both Surah Al-Kafirun and Surah Al-Ikhlas, in the 2 rakats of Salatul Fajr, in the 2 rakats of Salatul Maghrib. He used to recite with the shortest surah to make it light and fast. Any other questions? Related?
Maybe any questions online?
Online? Okay. Yeah, we can post questions, inshallah, in the group chat if anyone wants to have any questions. Or you can unmute and speak up, inshallah. So one thing that we can do whenever we have this an ayah, let's take one ayah, any beautiful ayah that you would like to recite. You can pick up Ayatul Kursi and see, okay, I'm reciting Ayatul Kursi after every single prayer. I would like to know what is the meaning of it. So you pull out Surah Ayatul Kursi and you open up in this website and you take one word and you copy it and then you paste it in this website. Search truth. When you paste right here, and you search it, it will tell you that how many it came with the harakats. So you have to come without the harakats. The harakats means the fatha, kasra, and dhamma. So if you write it down like this and you search it up, it will tell you that how many ayahs the same exact word has. So yeah, you have, for example, we have in 145 verses. And what are the ayahs? It tells you in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 2nd, right? The Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 21 has the word Ya ayyuhan, Ya ayyuhan. And so on. So by word by word, we can do it, inshallah. So one of the most common word that we had today was qul. And it was about more than 600 verses that has the word qul. Another common word was la. Most definitely, it should be the common in any language. And wow, wa means and, right? Another is anthum, you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking and addressing us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned anthum many times. Let's see how many times in the Quran the word anthum came. So we have in 131 verses. The word anthum, you, came in the Quran in 131 verses. And it tells you that where the ayahs that has the word anthum.
What is the Arabic word for I?
Ayah? Ana. Ana. Yes. We already, has this ayah in this surah. Wala ana.
Yeah, why I was asking if you go to a surah one ayah before.
Yes. Here.
Right? I worship.
I worship, yes.
Where is Ana?
Ana here. Very good question, mashallah. So a'budu means I worship. And we learned ana means I. But here, there's no ana. So how would I know that a'budu means I worship? So that there is a difference between the English language and Arabic language. In Arabic language, when a verb comes, the verb comes, it comes with the person. In the same word, it has the person in it. So in English, I say I eat. We need 2 words to say that I'm eating or I eat. But in Arabic, it's just one word, akulu, which means I eat. If you want to change akulu into you eat, you said ta'kulu. For example, in Surah Al-Kafirun, we have a'budu, I worship, and ta'budun, you worship. So here is telling me ana, the from ana is in front of this word, which tells me that I worship. And this ta is telling me this is you worship. And ta'budun means you all worship. So this is a plural. We don't have a plural word in English for you. For singular and plural is the same word you. You do, and all the students, you do. Same, right? But in Arabic, ta'budu, you worship singular. Ta'budun, you all worship. Very good question, alhamdulillah.
So how do we differentiate like I, Anna, right?
Yeah. So so we have like, the structures of words, which is called morphology, or the sort of Arabic language. It's a, subject or science itself. So there's three different kinds of words. Any kalima, any word falls into these three categories. The first one is ism, which is name or noun. And the second is verb, which is the fi'l. And the third one is harf, which is the prepositions or those sorts of things. So when you come to the second category, which is the verb, you have to know a ruling. So any verb either starts with a, which tells you this is the first person, or it starts with da, which tells you the second person, or with ya, which tells you it's the third person. So instead of ta'budun, if you were ya'budun with ya at the beginning, that would tell me that it is for the third person. They worship, ya'budun. So when it is ta'budun, it means that you worship. So you have to memorize the chart, that which one indicates to which person, and you can apply the same ruling for any verb in the Arabic. So
Do you have anything for to memorize or something like a small?
we can prepare it, inshallah.
Okay,
Yeah,
next, it will be
Yeah.
helpful.
inshallah. I will keep a note for that, inshallah.
Yeah.
Next class, inshallah, will show that how the verb changes, that the tense, and also the persons, and how they change in the numbers, in singular and plural, and how we can recognize that. It's easier with ism.
Yeah.
It's easier with ism, but when it comes to verb, it's called the pronoun, or the one who is doing it is already in the verb. So it's very hard to understand. And also another thing, like, we in English, we need to use that am, is, right, are, these things that we have to, I'm not sure if it's called adverb or something like that. So we have to use them, but in Arabic, we don't need to use them. Ana abidun, 2 words. I am worshipper. So there's no the third word as am. So here we needed I am a worshipper. 4 words to translate these 2 words in Arabic. Ana, I am. Abidun, a worshipper. So in Arabic, we don't have the word a or the. We use alif lam for the. And if there's no alif lam, that's singular. And ana is I am. Similarly, antum, you are. This are is already right there. So we don't use am, are, is in English, in Arabic. So inshallah, this will be it for today. We finished Surah Al-Kafirun. It is a very strong and very humble request from all of you. So this is the only book that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed. And we mastered in English language. We mastered in our professions. We mastered many things in the world, but we have to do as much as we can from the Quran. And it comes with reading, reciting, listening, understanding, contemplating, and all of these things in the Quran. So this is one of the part which is contemplating or understanding the Quran. And it is our journey. You don't have to think that this Quran, I never, touched it or start understanding it until now. So there is no way I can understand right now because I'm already busy with my family. I have a lot of chores to be done. I have a lot of errands to run. No, we can go baby steps, step by step. And as long as we're doing it continuously, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us the reward. In a hadith, the Prophet mentioned a person who struggles to memorize and he dies in the middle of his journey, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will arise him as a hafiz. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept from all of us. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wa iyyakum, inshallah. There's 4 minutes left for Asr prayer. Make wudu, make adhan, inshallah, and then we'll pray. And see you in the next class, inshallah. Jazakumullahu khairan.
Jazak.